All right, so I'm here with your Q&A. I think it's part 11. If you want to ask me questions, leave them in the comments below or ask me on Twitter, and make sure to specify that those questions are for the Q&A so I know to add them to my list. So, first question here. What do you think of macers? Should I get it or is it unhealthy? First, I don't know what macers are. I tried looking it up on Google, found nothing, so please clarify what that is. Do you think AJ will ever come back to WWE so she can save the Divas division? Do I think she will come back? Yes. I mean, almost everybody who retires or leaves WWE comes back. I don't think there's very few people who never return for something. Do I think she's going to save the Divas division? No, I don't think there's anything right now that can save the Divas division. Not a talent. I think the only thing that can save the Divas division is a good creative team. What do you think about Miz beating Cena at WrestleMania 27? I think that's a pretty lackluster main event there. I mean, not many people like Cena, and Miz isn't that talented. I think they probably could have had somebody more talented in there. And if you look at that, Miz in the main event of WrestleMania, and people in the main event of WrestleMania are supposed to be good, supposed to be talented. Then you flash forward 4 years later and look at Miz today. He's a fucking jobber. See, that's how just dysfunctional WWE is. One day you're in the main event of WrestleMania, and you think, he's not, it's not like he's getting older, so, it would make sense if he was getting older, not have him in the main event as much. He's in the prime of his career, and now he's a fucking jobber. He's not even on Raw half the time. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I think that was pretty stupid there. What do you think about the Transformers Prime series? I'm not a big Transformers fan. Never really watched the movies, any of them really. I don't know. The concept never really interested me enough to even go out and check out the movie. So I never watched it. What do you think about charter schools? I don't really know too much about charter schools. I know, they're kind of a different type of public schools. They get funding from the government, but they have more a leeway to do what they want. I'm not for public funding of schools. I think the government does things pretty shitty. I think we need a very small government, and I don't think education should be part of what the government does. I think it would be much better if we did private education as opposed to public education. Because if you look at the public schools, they're much worse than the private schools. Everybody knows if you go to a private school, you get a much better education. Let's get this straight. Public schools aren't free. All right, they're not free. They're paid for by taxes. They're paid for by taxpayers, so they're not free. Private education, in my opinion, it would bring the cost of schooling down too, because more competition within the private sector, that brings down the price of shit. And it will also increase the quality of it, because more competition also increases the quality of something. The more competitors you have, the better the product's going to be. If it's only 2 competitors, chances are you're not going to have, that good a product. But if it's 20, chances are, they're going to be fiercely competing with each other to put, the best product forward for the lowest price. So that's my thoughts there on schooling. What are your thoughts on Tigre Uno calling out Donald Trump for his comments on Mexicans? I didn't really see this Tigre Uno guy, but all Donald Trump really said was a lot of illegals are rapists and criminals, and we cannot let those people in. Everybody's like, oh, he's racist against Mexicans. He never said anything about Mexicans. He never said Mexicans are all rapists. But people like to twist the truth and twist information that he said. He said a lot of these illegals are rapists and criminals. Yet the liberal idiot media is spitting this to make it look like, oh, Trump's a racist, when that's totally untrue. And it's true that a lot of these illegals are raping people, are stealing from people, are murdering people, are just coming out over here and getting on welfare, are bringing this country down. Yes, and he even acknowledged, yes, there's a lot of good illegals, who are good people, who are educated, and that's true. But there's also a lot of them who are bad people. Are we just going to leave our borders wide open for the cartels to walk right on in here? It's come out that the cartels even are in America and control parts of America. So, open borders are not a good idea. And, Trump is right in all that he says pretty much about illegal immigration there. So, I don't think it's, right for this Tigre Uno guy to call out Trump, because he said it about illegals, not Mexicans. Would you like to see a Wednesday night war between NXT and TNA? Well, no, because first off, I can't even watch TNA. At first it was on Spike, and then they moved to, I think, Destination America. What a jobber channel that is, Destination America. But I don't even have that channel, I don't think, so I can't even watch it. NXT I don't watch. So I wouldn't really want to see it because I wouldn't watch it. I don't have, Wednesday I usually don't get home till 8 o'clock, so I don't want to watch, I don't want to watch Raw. I do that on Mondays. I get home at 8 o'clock, and then right straight there I usually watch Raw. So I don't want to, go right home and watch NXT. I don't have the energy to do that. I'm already watching enough wrestling as it is, so. And it would just be, this would not be like the Monday Night War, because not a lot of people watch TNA, not a lot of people watch NXT. I guess it's kind of an intriguing concept, though, but I don't think it will amount to anything, because the shows aren't just big. The shows aren't big enough, all right? What are your thoughts on Brady being suspended, Tom Brady? I think the NFL is very hypocritical. Like, it'll suspend people for wearing a certain color eye black for, like, domestic violence, and it will suspend people for wearing shoes for, like, cancer or whatever. But then when, a person beats their wife, or does this or whatever, does something horrible, like beating their wife, that's on par with wearing, a different color eye black, or deflating footballs. Like, they wanted to suspend Tom Brady 4 games for deflating footballs, but I believe it was Ray Rice. They only suspended 2 games for, beating up his girlfriend. It just makes no sense at all. It's a total, hypocrisy there, And it was a big fucking mess, too, with this whole Deflategate bullshit. I mean, it was totally overdone. They wasted a whole bunch of money on it. It went to court. It was totally just blown out of proportion. Totally just overexposed and unnecessary, a bunch of shit going on right there. What do you think about South Park? I don't watch South Park. I don't really watch, those South Park, Family Guy shows. I just don't. I never watched them. I think they're pretty, childish for the most part. A lot of people get a lot of laughs out of them. I don't really think they're too, the few clips I've seen of them, it just seems childish to me. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of those kind of shows. What's my favorite cereal? I really like those, I think it's like Nature's Path Organic, it's called. It's either Nature's Path, I think it's Nature's Path Organic, or it's Nature's Valley Organic, something like that. It's like a yellowish type of box. It's got a few different flavors. It's actually got quite a bit of different kinds, but it's healthy and it tastes pretty good too. So that's my favorite kind of cereal right there. That's pretty much the only cereal I eat, actually, is that Nature's Path Organic. But there you go, people. It's also non-GMO verified too, so that's a plus. But there you go, people. There's your 10 questions there, another 10 questions. Leave me more questions below to answer, and I will answer them when I get to them. I have a decent, little list of questions that have yet to be answered, but I will answer them as time goes along. So leave me more questions. Ask me on Twitter at WWEHeelPunk or at RuthlessRanter, or leave them in the comments below. And yeah, remember to specify that they're for the Q&A as well. So there you go, people. There's Q&A part 11.